ACWA Danger Zone TV. I'm your host, Steve Miller, and last week you saw how the Darkness continued their onslaught on the ACWA locker room. They sought out every opportunity to spread devastation throughout the ACWA. In our continuing coverage of ACWA Fan Appreciation Week, we're going to take a look back. We're going to take a look at what was to be Ladies' Night, but it almost didn't come to pass due to Trinity H. Campbell threatening the female competitors scheduled to appear. But defying Trinity's warnings, two ACWA ladies showed how much heart and determination they had in becoming ACWA Women's Champion. This infuriated the Women's Champion, as you'll see in this unscheduled interview.
First things first, you will no longer call me Trinity H. Campbell. You will address me by my birthday, Della Morte. You need to say it twice. Della Morte. We destroyed C.J. Summers. You wouldn't listen that we were taking over. You wouldn't listen that the pain was coming. And it seems that two of the little girls did get my message that coming to Ladies' Night would be nothing but pain and suffering for them. That I can promise. They think that they're going to get a chance to take my belt away. I promise each of them pain, suffering. I don't care who wins this match because they'll meet me firsthand.
As you just saw, ACWA Women's Champion Trinity H. Campbell, now known by her birth name Della Morte, was boasting how they destroyed our ACWA Heavyweight Champion, which you saw right here on ACWA Danger Zone TV. Mark my words, fans, knowing what a true competitor our champion is, he's not going to let these attacks go without a response. And later tonight, he will prove why he is the current ACWA Heavyweight Champion when he defends the title against Doctor's orders against Roman. Now, will the Darkness play a role in this match? We'll have to wait and see. Let's now take a look at the closing moments of the #1 contenders match for the ACWA Women's Championship to see who will face Della Morte. As you just saw, the Darkness interfered in yet another match. When is this chaos going to come to an end? The ACWA Championship Committee has to start handing out fines, suspensions, or something, because it's not fair to the other competitors and it's not fair to you fans. Let's fast forward to later on that night when Della Morte took on Alicia for the ACWA Women's Championship.
Ladies and gentlemen, the following contest is for the ACWA Women's Championship. It is one fall with a 1 hour time limit. First in the ring at this time, in the pink and in the black tights with pink trim, she is the challenger. She is from Hackensack, New Jersey. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Alicia. And her opponent, who's accompanied by the Darkness, she is the current ACWA Women's Champion, Della Morte.
And there it is, folks. As the bell sounds, this matchup is underway. It is for the ACWA Women's Championship. Now, if you fans saw earlier in the closing moments of that #1 contenders match, the Darkness interfered once again in yet another match. But they attacked both competitors in that match, but the referee, he sounded the bell and awarded the victory to Alicia, as now she has her opportunity to face Della Morte for the Women's Championship. But as you fans notice, the Darkness is yet again out around the ringside area as Ripper #2 and Billy Lassiter are just circling, almost like vultures. They're circling around the ring, just waiting for their opportunity to inflict damage, to inflict pain on this challenger in Alicia. Now Alicia comes out of the corner, firing Della Morte down with a hip toss. Tremendous drop toe hold, knocking Della Morte down to the mat as she now cinches down on the left arm, tightening up on that arm bar. That's got to, in my mind, that's what she has to do. She has to do that in this matchup. She has to keep Della Morte on the ground. She cannot let Della Morte get back on her feet. Della Morte fires Alicia off the rope. Alicia attempted a clothesline, but had no effect. And again, another clothesline with no effect. And this time, third time, finally knocking Della Morte down to the mat. So Alicia goes for a cover, hooks the far leg, but only gets 2 as Della Morte fires that shoulder off the mat. She now exits the ringside area where she's, of course, going to be consoled by the Darkness, giving her time to think of some strategy and maybe telling them at what points they can interfere in the match to help her retain the women's title. The referee now, he's issuing his 10 count, but now Alicia's breaking the count. Now she has exited the ring, and now she's chasing after the women's champion, but that's a big mistake on her part. She has to stay inside the ring because she's only asking for trouble, knowing that Billy Lassiter and Ripper #2 are on the outside of the ring. Because now once that inexperience there in the championship match, just bad mistake on Alicia's part. Really bad mistake, because now Della Morte has taken a commanding offensive lead in this matchup. Is now, come on referee, she's stepping on the hair. I mean, that's just as bad as choking, but that's something I come to expect from Della Morte. She'll use any means necessary, anything, any kind of choking, raking in the eyes, any type of cheating she'll use to come out victorious in any matchup that she's ever been in. Rushes into the corner with thunderous shoulder block, and another one, and she's just laying into Alicia in the corner. You gotta believe that's knocking the wind out of Alicia, and this could end this match early. No, come on, referee, she's choking her in the corner. This referee's got to take control of that. You're going to see a lot of choking and cheating from her. He's got to know that as he's finally issuing her a warning, telling her to quit the choking. But now even the Ripper #2 and Billy Lassiter are choking out young Alicia. This is not right. This referee has got to take control of this match. And you're going to see constant interference all the time from the Darkness as she now just pulls Alicia out of the corner with a power bomb. But Alicia does get that shoulder off the mat, barely. She's suffering pain. She's suffering damage at every point in this matchup, whether it's Della Morte or whether it's the Darkness on the outside of the ring. As Della Morte plants her in the middle of the ring with a powerful body slam, but she's taking a little bit too much time here as she drops the elbow on Alicia's chest. She hooks the near leg, and she only gets a 2 count as Alicia does kick out after the count of 2. Della Morte showing a little bit of frustration here, seeming as if, in her mind, the referee's count was just a little bit too slow. Now the fans are starting to clap. They're trying to get behind Alicia, give her the energy and the courage to turn the tide in this matchup as she plants Della Morte in the middle of the ring with thunderous DDT. This is her opportunity to regain herself, regain the momentum, take over this matchup. And now Billy Lassiter on the ringside area interfering with the count as Alicia's going for the cover. As you can see, Ripper #2 and Billy Lassiter at the same time interfering, so the referee has to break his count. And by the time the referee turned around, he only got a 2 count on that. Alicia's obviously got to be upset and concerned, but Della Morte just knocking her down to the canvas with a hard clothesline. As now you could see Alicia's grabbing the back of her head. Her head had to bounce right off that canvas. That could be it. We could be getting close to the end of this match. Now Alicia trying to fire off a few shots to the midsection, but they seem to have little effect on Della Morte. Della Morte just with a heavy right hand knocking Alicia back down to the canvas. The referee checking on Alicia, but she doesn't give up. She's got a lot of heart. She's got a lot of determination and courage. She's not going to give up that easily. This is for the ACWA Women's Championship. I mean, we know the history of the Darkness and how they like to interfere in each other's matches and help each other out. Now Alicia with a high cross body, getting a 2 count on Della Morte. But Della Morte gets that shoulder off the mat as now even Billy Lassiter and Ripper number 2 are now circling the ring, getting in close to the action. The referee sees it right in front, and he finally breaks the interference on the Ripper. But now the Ripper number 2 once again grabbing Alicia, dropping the elbow on her chest. The referee signaling for the bell. He saw that, folks. This is it, folks. The referee is signaling. That's the end of this matchup. He is disqualifying Della Morte, awarding this matchup to Alicia. However, as you fans know, even by disqualification, Alicia may be the winner, but she won't be the women's champion. And what is going on here, folks? This matchup is over as Alicia ducks the belt, kicking Della Morte into the midsection. Now she has the belt in her hand and just knocks Della Morte down to the canvas in frustration. You can see she's angry about that, folks. That was just a tainted victory for Della Morte. It is completely heinous, and I feel badly for Alicia, but she'll be back.
And his opponent, he hails from Neptune, New Jersey, weighing in at 4 million kilobits. Here is Slayer.
Okay, fans, we're ready as the Ripper number 2, of course, accompanied to the ring by Billy Lassiter and ACWA Women's Champion Della Morte, is going to take on the crazy, psychotic Slayer. But Ripper number 2 just laying the boots down to Slayer and just kicking him out of the ring like a piece of trash as the referee rings the bell and trying to keep Ripper number 2 off of Slayer, allowing him to get back in the ring. But now, as you see on the outside, Della Morte and Billy Lassiter just lowering the boom on Slayer. He hasn't even had an opportunity to take that straitjacket off. They're just beating on him unmercifully as they just roll him back in the ring. He's almost lifeless there. They just keep beating on him. He still has a straitjacket on. And obviously Ripper number 2 is going to use that to his advantage. But the referee's telling him he's got to back off, giving Slayer an opportunity to at least get the straitjacket off. Now the referee's assisting him in that. And finally he frees himself with the straitjacket. That'll give him some opportunity to maneuver in this match. But Ripper number 2 just kicking him unmercifully, stomping on his chest, stomping on his head, is now hitting him with a heavy right hand, knocking Slayer back into the ropes. Just taking his liberties with Slayer, shot after shot. Right hands to the sternum, right hands to the midsection, right hands to the head, just tattooing Slayer. Slayer never even had a chance to start in this matchup. Now he just throws Slayer to the outside of the ring, and you know what that means. And again, Billy Lassiter and the women's champion Della Morte taking their liberties with Slayer, just beating on him on the outside of the ring, kicking, punching, choking, doing what they normally do on the outside of the ring. And of course the Ripper number 2 has the referee distracted, so he is seeing absolutely none of this. This is ridiculous. This referee should know this by now. With the history of this darkness and what they've been doing in ACWA, he should know that they're there when they're around ringside area. They're going to interfere. He should know that. Now Slayer's tried to fire off with a couple of shoulder blocks into the midsection, but the Ripper number 2 put a stop to that real quick with a thunderous forearm to the back of the neck. This referee has really got to keep his eyes peeled on the outside of the ring. He knows what trouble the darkness will bring to any match that they're involved in. As now Ripper number 2 just plants Slayer in the middle of the ring with a powerful body slam, taking his time. And notice the arrogant cover. He doesn't even hook the leg, just puts his hand on his chest like, yeah, I got this one, and this matchup's over. But Slayer just kicks right out, just showing that, you know, he's still got a lot of energy, he's still got a lot of heart, and he's gonna fight back in this matchup. But he hasn't even had an opportunity to mount any kind of offense here. And there we go again, Ripper number 2 once again distracting referee, and Billy Lassiter and Della Morte are just beating on Slayer on the outside of the ring. This is ridiculous. I mean, how many times has this referee, he's officiated so many matches with any member of the Darkness here. He should know with the other members of Darkness on the outside of the ring, they're going to interfere regardless. Regardless of who's wrestling, it doesn't matter. As now Ripper number 2, he's hooking up Slayer in the middle ring and drives him to the mat with a sidewalk slam. Hooks both legs, but only gets a 2 count as Slayer does kick out. Ripper number 2, obviously angered, frustrated, thinking the referee's count was too slow. The referee's showing him it was a 2 count, and Slayer did get his shoulder off the mat. Ripper number 2 needs to keep his attention focused on Slayer and not the referee. As now Slayer trying once again to fight back and mount an offense. Ripper number 2 once again putting a stop there. Slayer ducks the clothesline. He comes over the rope. Sunset flip. And he's got the Ripper number 2 pinned down. Only getting a count of 2 is Billy Lassiter helping Ripper number 2 get to that bottom rope, breaking the referee's count. The referee once again warning Billy Lassiter, but the warning's not going to do anything to him. That's only going to make them, even more angry and drive them to interfere even more in this match. The Ripper number 2 just knocking Slayer down with a clothesline, backs him up into the corner, and he's choking him. The referee finally counting getting his 5 count, almost a count of 5. Ripper number 2 did release the chokehold, because as you fans know, if he got to the count of 5, he would have gotten disqualified. He just fires Slayer into the turnbuckle. He's setting him up, going for the avalanche, but Slayer gets out of the way. He misses. Slayer rolls him up, but only gets a 2 count. He's got to keep this momentum going. Ripper number 2 once again just knocking him down to the canvas with another hard clothesline. So you can see Slayer just clutching at his chest a little bit because that clothesline seemed to knock the wind out of him. As now Ripper number 2 once again throwing Slayer to the outside of the ring. And again, now Della Morte and Billy Lassiter once again just beating on Slayer unmercifully on the outside of the ring, while Ripper number 2 has the referee distracted. He sees none of this. This is absolutely ridiculous. This referee has got to take control in this matchup. I mean, time after time, when he's talking to Ripper number 2, Ripper number 2 is distracting him time after time. They're interfering and they're beating on Slayer. This referee has got to take control. I personally think he's losing control of this matchup. He needs to show more authority. He's the authority in the ring. He needs to show more authority, even though he may be intimidated by Ripper number 2 and the other members of the Darkness. He needs to take control. But now Ripper number 2 is setting him up. He's signaling that's the end as he hoists Slayer into the air and drives him down with a neckbreaker. That could be it, folks. Slayer's not moving. He rolls him over. Ripper number 2 goes for the cover, but he pulls his head up. He had the match won. I don't understand that. He had the match won. I don't understand what Ripper number 2 is doing here. But now he's got he's got Della Morte's title in the ring. And, well, wait a minute. If he uses his title, then he's going to get disqualified. Now he's hooking him up once again as he once again hoists Slayer in the air and drives him down with a neckbreaker on top of the bell. Referee signals for the bell. He's disqualifying Ripper number 2 for bringing the bell in the ring and using it in this matchup. He disqualified Ripper number 2 and awards the victory to Slayer. This referee needs to get these guys out of the ring. I mean, as now you got a double choke slam on Slayer in the middle of the ring by Billy Lassiter and Ripper number 2. And of course, Della Morte's enjoying every minute of this on the outside of the ring, just commanding her minions to inflict more pain, more suffering, and more damage on Slayer. And out of the locker room storms the American rock star CJ Summers. Obviously frustrated by the tactics of the Darkness, comes out to Slayer's aid, chasing the Darkness out of the ring. Looks to me like the American Rockstar calling for the mic.
I'm sick and tired of you 3 monkeys coming out, interfering in everybody's matches. 2-on-1. Now they got Magilla Gorilla over here with her. It's 3-on-1. So, Magilla Gorilla. So, Billy, tonight you're going to take a personal apprentice of mine on tonight. So, you shut up. But just to make a little insurance policy, Ripper will not be at ringside with you guys. So it'll be you and Billy, me and Eddie. And I can guarantee Ripper's not going to be at ringside.
you saw CJ Summers making a statement in the middle of the ring. He's tired of the antics of the Darkness. As he said, Ripper number 2 is not going to be in this match as he knocks him down in the ring with Della Morte's women's title singling. It's going to be just a tag team match. Ripper number 2 is not going to be involved. Ripper number 2 obviously dazed on the outside of the ring after the shot from the American Rockstar as he helps Slayer back to the locker room.
Following contest is one fall with a 20-minute time limit. First, he hails from the dark side, being accompanied by the ACWA Women's Champion Della Morte. Here is Billy Lassiter. And his opponent, he is the first graduate of the American Championship Wrestling Academy. He hails from Metuchen, New Jersey, weighing in at 250 pounds. Here is Kuspiel.
Okay, friends, we're now ready. As you see, Eddie Kuspiel comes storming out of the locker room. He's accompanied by the ACWA heavyweight champion, CJ Summers. But as you know, Billy Lassiter accompanied to the ring by members of the Darkness, Della Morte. Della Morte now concerning herself more with what's going on the outside ring. Now she's distracting the referee. Eddie Kuspiel, he sends Billy Lassiter crashing into Della Morte, knocking her off the ringside area. As now he's just firing off the right hands in the corner. He's come out like a house of fire. Irish whip into the corner on Billy Lassiter, comes charging in with a clothesline. And now he's just laying into him right hand after right hand. But Billy Lassiter, he put a stop to that real quick as he went to the eyes, but then again, that's something Darkness always does. They always have to cheat. As now he's just, right into the midsection. He's really laying into him. I think that's got to be the focus of Billy Lassiter in this matchup. He does obviously possess the height advantage on young Kuspiel, but Eddie Kuspiel, he's got that strength, he's got that power, he's got that drive as a young competitor. He's got to use that to his advantage here. Billy Lassiter just fires him off in the corner, but Eddie Kuspiel lifts up the elbow, stopping that momentum, hitting Billy Lassiter right in the jaw. As you can see, Lassiter is holding his jaw and seems to be clutching at it. I don't think maybe he lost a tooth there. Now Eddie Kuspiel is just beating on him with forearms on the back of the neck. But once again, Billy Lassiter going to the throat this time. The referee needs that looked like a closed fist to me, as now he's just clubbing on the back of the head with another forearm to the delight of Della Morte. And now as you see, CJ Summers trying to tell the referee that Billy Lassiter's been cheating. He's using foreign objects. He's choking. The referee's just warning him he better get off the ringside area or he's going to disqualify Eddie Kuspiel. Now Billy Lassiter's just taking his time, walking around the ring as if he did nothing wrong. He really needs to stay on Eddie Kuspiel. And as now he's once again choking. This referee, come on, referee, you gotta break the choke. They're always choking. They always have some underhanded, dirty tactic that they have to use in the match, no matter what. And he's definitely got to keep his eyes on the women's champion, Della Morte, as she'll use any opportunity she can get to help her warrior, her minion, her slave almost, Billy Lassiter, win this matchup. Now CJ Summers once again complaining to the referee and showing him that Billy Lassiter is choking, he's cheating, he's using every dirty move, every dirty tactic in the book to gain an advantage of this matchup. But now he's just crushing him with an elbow to the back of the head. You can see Eddie's just holding the back of the head as now Billy Lassiter ascending the middle ropes, dropping the elbow into the middle of the back. That could be it as he rolls over Eddie, but he's going for the cover. Once again, doesn't even bother hooking the leg, not even body on body. That gave Eddie Kuspiel plenty of opportunity to kick out and get his shoulder off the canvas. it seems like, Billy Lassiter does it. And once again, he's choking. Now he's got his boot across the throat. This referee has got to take control. He's got to gain control. He's got to issue the count, because Billy Lassiter's going to, he should have been disqualified already. As now he just throws Eddie Kuspiel to the outside of the ring. Showing the referee he's not doing nothing wrong. And now Della Morte taking her liberties with Eddie on the outside of the ring, but CJ Summers chases her away, preventing any further damage on the outside of the ring. As now he's pointing out to the referee as he saw Della Morte just taking her shots whenever she can on Eddie on the outside of the ring. As CJ's over checking on Eddie, seeing he's okay, helping Eddie back into the ring, but as soon as he got back in the ring, Lassiter just drives that forearm to the throat, and he's choking once again. This time the referee issuing the count, but Lassiter did break it before the 5 count. Once again, he's just taking his time here. I know with Billy Lassiter, he has that slow, methodical pace. He likes to pick apart his opponents. He likes to just take them apart piece by piece, shot after shot. As once again, going for the cover, just using one hand and a knee. Not even, again, no body on body, no hooking of the leg. And Eddie Kuspiel had plenty of time to kick out. But with the competitor, with the vicious moves that Billy Lassiter possesses, he's going to keep it at that slow pace. I think that's an advantage for him. He needs to use that in his corner, as that will help him come out victorious. Of course, with all the choking, cheating, and eye raking, and any other kind of dirty tactic there is, he'll use that as well. It seems like it's almost a choke, but it wasn't. And Eddie reverses it with a jawbreaker, rocking Billy Lassiter down as both men are down on the canvas. The referee's beginning his 10 count. If neither man gets back to their feet by the count of 10, they will both be counted out, and this match will be considered a draw. But as you can see, Eddie he's fighting his way back up. He's lost a lot of momentum. He's been beat on. He's been worn down, and now he's taking advantage as now he's pulling back on the chin of Billy Lassiter. Once again, Billy Lassiter going to the throat, going to the eyes, cheating to break any kind of momentum that Eddie has in this matchup. And now both, Della Morte complaining to the referee, saying that, CJ needs to stay away from the match, as if he's interfering. He hasn't done any interfering. He's just been trying to tell the referee what kind of cheating Billy and Della Morte have been doing throughout the entire match. As Eddie is in a lot of trouble here. He's been beat on unmercifully in this matchup. As Billy Lassiter is taking his time, he's showing he has no foreign object. Even though time after time you see Summers warning the referee and telling the referee that Lassiter's been using a foreign object throughout this entire match. But every time the referee goes to check him, he finds nothing. So Billy's getting away with murder, basically, in this match. Once again, now he's draping a leg across Eddie's head, choking him out on the middle rope. He breaks it at the count of 4. Now off the ropes, just landing another leg across the back of the head, driving his neck into the rope, snapping Eddie Kuspiel back onto the mat. This could be it, as now Lassiter ascends the middle rope, dropping the fist onto Eddie's forehead. That could be it. But once again, Eddie just barely gets that left shoulder off the mat. So once again, Lassiter failed to hook the leg, but again, he's choking. This referee this should be enough to disqualify this guy already. How many times is he going to issue a count for choking and cheating, eye raking, all the stuff he's been doing? This matchup should have been over a long time ago. With all this cheating that's going on, Lassiter should have been disqualified a long time ago. But that doesn't surprise me. He, along with Ripper number 2 and Della Morte, they all use these kind of tactics because they feel that they can do whatever they want. Because as you know, they said they're taking over the ACWA. They're slowly going to beat on everybody in this lock. The onslaught that they've been bringing on the locker room is horrendous. The things that they've been doing have been ridiculous. Referees and the officials here are having a hard time trying to control the darkness. Now Billy Lassiter once again showing the referee he has no foreign object. But as you fans saw, he's been using a foreign object throughout the match, but he cleverly hides it each time the referee goes to check him for it. As now he's got almost a modified camel clutch on Eddie and just crushing him with a forearm to the chest. As you saw once again, you saw it right there, folks, right there. You saw him stick that foreign object back into his pocket. Now he turns around, all innocent looking, and finally he's got body on body. But Eddie gets that left shoulder off the mat, and referee signaling that it was only a 2 count, showing him that he did get that left shoulder off the mat. As you see, Summers is on the outside of the ring, trying to offer some words of encouragement to young Kuspiel in this match, as he knows he's up against a mountain against Lassiter with Della Morte on the outside of the ring. But Eddie with a sunset flip, trying to pull down Lassiter for the pin. He's got his shoulders down. But Lassiter, with that tremendous reach and height advantage, easily grabbed the bottom rope, breaking that count. He only got a 1 count. as Lassiter just knocking Eddie down to the mat with a thunderous clothesline. That could be it. Once again, goes for the cover, but only gets a count of 2 as Eddie gets his left shoulder off the mat once again. After the count of 2, referee once again signaling to Billy Lassiter and to Della Morte on the outside of the ring that was indeed only a 2 count. Now he's wearing down on Eddie Kuspiel. Seems almost like a modified chin lock, reverse chin lock. And you notice what he's doing. He's leaning forward, causing Eddie to lean forward, not giving Eddie enough time to breathe, enough time to regain himself. And almost this could render him unconscious, and this could end this match right here, right now. Eddie has got to fire up. He's got to draw, what energy he may have left. He's got to churn it. He's got to get it going to get back in his matchup. As he fights back to a vertical base, firing off elbows to the midsection. Comes off throw, ducks Lassiter's clothesline. Clotheslines Billy Lassiter, but doesn't knock him down. As he hooks him up into a Russian leg sweep. That could be it, folks. As you saw, Billy's head bouncing right off the mat. But Eddie's going to continue this offensive momentum. He needs to if he's going to win this matchup. As you see, he plants him in a downward spiral. That could be it. But what is Della Morte doing? He's climbing up to the top rope. The referee signal. That's the end of the match. The winner of this matchup is Eddie Kuspiel. Eddie Kuspiel gets the victory over Billy Lassiter. As you saw in the closing moments of that match, Della Morte tried to interfere. She climbed the top rope. CJ Summers saved the day as he got her out of the matchup, affording the ability for Eddie Kuspiel to pin Billy Lassiter and come out victorious in this match.
Seems like every time we're in the building, myself and Slayer, and on Holy Alliance, they try to jump one of us. Tonight, they jumped my partner Slayer. So now we're sick and tired of it. So I came out here tonight to challenge them into a tag match. And if you have any guts, they'll come out towards me and my partner tonight, right now. I don't think they have the guts though. What do you think, lady? Woo. What do you think? Woo, yeah, woo! She's way out in left field. What do you think, bud? You think you can beat us tonight? You do? I'm going to ask somebody else. No, he knows.
You see Orphan out in the ring here, and he's accompanied by Slayer. He's obviously, he's angry about what happened earlier to his partner Slayer. He's upset about what the Darkness did, and the damage that they inflicted and the pain that they inflicted on his tag team partner Slayer. He's obviously upset, and he's called for this matchup. As now the referee is counting. He's counting the 10, saying that if he gets to the count of 10 before he enters the ring, then that's it. Before they get to the ring, this matchup is over. As now even Orphan's joining in on the referee's count. This could be it, folks. If he reaches to a count of 10, this matchup's over. As now you even hear the fans are counting along. He's up to a count of 6. Referee reaches now. He's at the count of 7. Oh, referee's now he's up to the count of. They've only got 2 seconds left before they get in the ring in this match. Wait a minute. Now I hear their music. They're going to be there they are on their way to the ring. You see Orphan and Slayer are fired up for this matchup. They're both ready to exact a little revenge on the Darkness. The referee might have a better chance of keeping control in this matchup since both men will be on the ringside area actually active in the match and not helping each other out when it's only one of them competing. Because wherever Billy Lassiter is, the Ripper number 2 and Della Morte are surely going to be around the ringside area. As now you can see Slayer's angry. He's fired up as he goes charging at Ripper number 2. But they just slowly, surely just waltzing their way up to the ringside area. And there she is. They are accompanied by the women's champion, Della Morte. Referees now, he's definitely going to have a hard time controlling all 4 men in this matchup. Especially with the anger and hatred that the Orphan and Slayer have for the Darkness for what they did to Slayer earlier tonight, as you saw. The beating that they laid down on Slayer. Orphan was upset. He called for this matchup, as you remember. And he's ready to get some revenge on Ripper number 2 and Billy Lassiter. And I'm sure he might even have something in store for Della Morte. I just don't trust Della Morte when she's around the ringside area. She's got the championship belt in her hand. That always seems to come into play whenever she's around the ringside area and one of her minions is competing, whether it's a tag team match or they're just wrestling in a singles competition. She's always around the ringside area. There's always some type of cheating or foreign object that's involved. I mean, constantly it goes on and on. That's what the Darkness seems to be known for. As now you see, Ripper number 2 trying to intimidate the Orphan, but he's not going to intimidate him. The Orphan can't be intimidated that easily. As now Slayer's gaining advantage. He's trying to rip the mask off the Ripper number 2. Now wait a minute. He's turned the mask aside. Ripper number 2 can't see. Slayer's just beating away on right hands. You could see the frustration. You could see the anger in Slayer's face. He's just pounding on the rights and rights. More right hands. He's dropping elbows on the back of the neck. And now he's biting him. The referee's got to stop that. As much as you like to see Slayer, he's upset. He's fired up. He wants to get his revenge. He's got to watch himself though. With the biting and choking that he may do, he's going to get himself disqualified. As once again he resorts to biting. The referee backs off, but even the referee's a little bit scared of Slayer because Slayer's crazy. Slayer's just uncontrollable at times. Even the Orphan has trouble controlling Slayer. They may be tag team partners, but the Orphan has a tough time controlling him. Slayer's just so unpredictable in any match that he's a part of. But as you notice, the mask is still sideways on Ripper number 2. As Slayer knocks him down to the mat with a clothesline, you can see Ripper number 2 is struggling to see. He's grabbing the ropes, and he finally makes a tag to his partner, Billy Lassiter. As now Lassiter enters the matchup to square off against Slayer. Now as you see, Slayer's ready to go. I don't even want to tell you what he was just doing, but now Billy Lassiter just crushing him down with forearms to the chest. He's taking immediate advantage, using his size, his weight, and his height advantage, as he's now got him cinching down on that front face lock. This is a good wear down, basic wear down hold, and he's going to use it to his advantage. That'll keep the uncontrollable Slayer at bay. As now you see the blind tag, Ripper number 2 tags himself into the match. Billy Lassiter still holding him by the head. Ripper number 2 just now laying down boom with the forearm, and just forearm after forearm, almost like piston-like forearms into the middle of the back. He's now scoops Slayer up in the air and slams him down hard in the middle of the ring. Pointing at the Orphan, almost taunting him. And but see, that's a mistake that the Orphan's making. He can't worry about, even though the things they might be saying and taunting him. As now once again, Ripper number 2 getting under the skin of Orphan, causing the Orphan to enter the ring, giving the opportunity for Billy Lassiter to choke Slayer in the middle of the rope. I mean, this is ridiculous. Referee finally gets Orphan to the outside of the ring. And of course, Billy Lassiter lets go of the choke, so the referee has seen none of this. And once again, he's choking him again, but this time is Ripper number 2 with the boot across the throat. And now Della Morte's choking him out. Come on, this is like a handicap match. This is ridiculous. But you fans know, I mean, you've seen it time after time, no matter what match it is. I don't have to tell you something you don't already know. You know they're going to interfere in each other's matches. Now, it seems like the referee has regained some type of control, but there you go again. Billy Lassiter choking out Slayer in the corner with the boot across the throat. Slayer's in serious trouble. He needs to get himself out of that corner. If he needs to tag his partner Orphan. As now Ripper number 2 putting more pressure down on the throat as he climbs onto the bottom rope, pushing down even harder on the throat on Slayer. And that's what they've been doing for like the last minute or so here, is just choking out Slayer. It's effective because it's going to keep the uncontrollable star, from biting and going crazy in the middle of the ring. That's their strategy, but they're cheating at the same time. This referee, he doesn't seem to be warning them enough. Just issuing a count. As now Slayer's just driven into middle ring with a side slam by Ripper number 2. Ripper number 2 once again taunting the Orphan, telling him, "Come get some." And he's just toying with Slayer right now. Slayer's trying to mount some offense. He's firing off with a couple of right hands. The Ripper number 2 puts an end to that, raking the eyes, is once again resorting to the dirty tactics that they're so accustomed to. Now just throwing Slayer into Billy Lassiter's boot in the corner. Slayer's in some serious trouble here. Now even the Orphan getting on taunting, but once again now Billy Lassiter choking him out, snapping Slayer's head off the rope. Slayer's just laying motionless in the corners. Billy Lassiter hitting him in the midsection, knocking Slayer down to the mat. He's still choking, and the referee can see this. I mean, he can see this on the outside of the ring. He's not disqualifying. I mean, they're just blatantly cheating. What a move by Ripper number 2, just snapping Slayer's head off the bottom rope. As you saw, the bottom rope just going right across the throat. Slayer's clutching at the throat. He's got to have a hard time breathing. The referee may need to stop this matchup. And now you got Ripper number 2 once again. He's taunting the Orphan. And it's keeping the referee distracted, giving the opportunity for Billy Lassiter to attack Slayer while the referee has his back turned. And you know Della Morte is enjoying every minute of this. And she could see that her minions of darkness, their minions of the darkness, her warriors, her slaves, they do her bidding by destroying anything that they see in the middle of the ring. Ripper number 2 just pounding away with right hands and forearms to Slayer. Slayer's almost out on his feet as Ripper number 2 fires him off the rope. Slayer ducks a clothesline with the sunset flip on Ripper number 2, pulling him over. Slayer only gets a 2 count. Ripper number 2 kicks out, but Slayer has got to tag his partner. Ripper number 2 puts a stop to it, knocking Slayer down in the middle of the ring. What a thunderous clothesline. And he once again regains the advantage in this matchup, keeping that offensive momentum going in the favor of the darkness. Now Ripper number 2, once again, he's choking out Slayer. Slayer's got to have a hard time breathing. I mean, with all the choking, the kicking, the stomping, and even snapping his neck off the bottom rope, he's got to have a lot of trouble breathing. He's got to get to the corner. He's got to find some opportunity to get to the corner. As now Ripper number 2 setting up for the avalanche. Ripper number 2 misses it. Slayer gets a tag to Orphan. Orphan's coming in the match. You can see Orphan's fired up, firing Ripper number 2 off the ropes, knocking him down with a clothesline. Tell Billy has to come in the ring. Orphan just firing off right hands to the midsection, driving Lassiter's head into his knee, driving clothesline into Ripper number 2 in the corner, Irish whip into the far corner. This time the Orphan's going to get his revenge with his own avalanche in the corner, and you see Ripper number 2 just collapsing to the mat. Orphan's definitely turned the tide in this matchup. He's taking advantage. He's firing off right hands of Billy Lassiter. He's definitely, he's giving the opportunity for Slayer to regain himself, as now Orphan with a headbutt on Billy Lassiter knocks Billy Lassiter down to his knees. A second headbutt knocks him back into the corner. You see Della Morte on the outside of the ring consoling Ripper number 2, checking on to make sure he's okay. As now you can see the Orphan almost looks like he's trying to hook him up for a suplex, but Lassiter's blocking with shots to the midsection, as now Ripper number 2 finally gets back to the ringside area. Billy Lassiter driving down the Orphan with a DDT, but the Orphan kicks out after the count of 2, getting that right shoulder off the mat. But now the team was once again in trouble, as it seems now the darkness has regained advantage, as Billy Lassiter taking a cheap shot on Slayer, knocking him down to the mat. And once again, now he's distracting the referee, getting Slayer's attention, giving the opportunity for Ripper number 2 to choke the Orphan in the corner. This is ridiculous. I mean, how much more of this has to go on before the referee realizes it and disqualifies the darkness? And now you finally see something actually legal in this match, a legal tag that the referee saw. Now you have Ripper number 2 now he's once again choking, and he's doing the same thing he did to Slayer earlier, stepping on the bottom rope, giving him more leverage as he's choking out the Orphan in the corner. The Orphan is just lying motionless now. As now Billy Lassiter is doing the same thing right in front of the referee, and this referee is not disqualifying them. A warning is all fine and good, but a warning's not going to get the job done. As Ripper number 2 driving Orphan down with a powerbomb, only getting counted 2 as the Orphan gets his shoulder off the mat. As you can see, everybody in the darkness, including Della Morte on the outside of the ring, they're all angered, feeling that the referee's count was just too slow. Now Ripper number 2 going for the pin. He's only holding down the arms. There's no body on body. He's not using his weight. That's, of course, going to give plenty of opportunity. Orphan kicks out easily. And now Ripper number 2, it seems like he's setting up for something here. I mean, this could be it. And I know we said how Billy Lassiter is a slow, methodical wrestler himself, but look at the power by Ripper number 2, hoisting Orphan up in the air, slamming him down hard in the middle of the ring. As he goes for the cover, doesn't hook the leg, gets a lateral press, only gets a count of 2 as at the last second. That had to be 2.5. That was very close, folks. A 2.5 count, maybe 2 7/8. It was that close for Orphan and Slayer losing this matchup. Ripper number 2 still has the advantage in this matchup, as now he fires Orphan off the ropes, knocking him down with a back elbow, sending Orphan crashing down to the mat. Ripper number 2 now tagging in his partner Billy Lassiter. Once again, an actual legal tag in this matchup. Something they do that's not breaking the rules. The referee, he's got to get Ripper number 2 out of the ring. He made the tag. And now even you could see how annoyed and how angry Slayer is. Now you got a double team in the ring. Orphan ducks the clothesline, coming off the ropes. Double shoulder block, sending both members of the Darkness crashing down to the mat. This gives him an opportunity to regain himself. He's got to get to the corner and tag in Slayer, but Slayer's now entered into the ring. Slayer's now entering, coming off the ropes, into a bulldog out of the corner. That could be it. He's hooking a leg, Billy Lassiter. And that's it, ladies and gentlemen. Slayer, he gets the victory, and he gets a little bit of revenge. Exacts revenge on the Darkness, as Slayer and the Orphan are victorious in this tag team contest, and that's got to make Della Morte angry that her boys couldn't get the job done. As now, wait a minute, now Orphan and Slayer just throwing Della Morte. Excuse me, I'm so excited and so confused. I'm even losing it here. Just throwing Della Morte out of the ring. They're getting a little revenge on the Darkness, as Orphan and Slayer are victorious in this tag team match.
Thank you. Now my so-called worthy opponent tonight, C.J. Summers, the ACWA. Now when I'm speaking, you don't interrupt me, okay? That's good, okay. Let me try that again. My so-called worthy opponent, C.J. Summers, okay, hold on. Time out. When I speak, nobody else does. Okay? Okay. My so-called worthy opponent, C.J. Summers, the AC. I'm putting my foot down now. Do not interrupt me again, or I'm going to leave and never come back. You're hurting my feelings. My so-called worthy opponent, C.J. Summers. I'm leaving. I'll leave. I'll leave. That's right. All right. Is for the ACWA Heavyweight Championship, and it does have a 1-hour time limit. In the ring at this time, in the green trunks with purple trim, is the challenger. He hails from proudly representing South River, New Jersey, who is going to beat East Brunswick in football this year, weighing in at 215 pounds, Roman! Right there, come on! And his opponent, in the blue and black trunks, he weighs in at 200 pounds. He hails from Seaside Heights, New Jersey, and he is the ACWA Heavyweight Champion, the American Rock Star, C.J. Summers!
you fans, as you see, now we're ready for the ACW Heavyweight Championship match. The referee, you saw Roman trying to get the early advantage on the champion, CJ Summers. As you can see, fans, Summers still has his back all taped up. You remember from the damage and the pain inflicted at the hands of the Darkness. As now Roman's taking his time as he goes to the outside of the ring. The referee's counting to 10. The referee reaches the count of 10. Roman loses his opportunity at possibly regaining the ACWA Championship. Now dragging Summers to the outside of the ring. Summers blocks it, ramming Roman's head off the mat. Roman rolling back into the ring. Now Roman begging off as he's going to give him some time, but Summers with a boot to the midsection, firing Roman off the ropes. Roman ducks the clothesline, kicking right in the back, and you saw it right there, folks. He's honing in on that lower back. It's going to be the focus of Roman in this matchup, as now he's just going to wear away at the lower back. As you know, Summers is wrestling injured. He's wrestling against doctor's orders, but that's a true competitor that he is. You know, he's going to go out there and he's going to defend the title because that's the kind of champion he is. But Roman is doing exactly what he needs to do. He's working on the lower back. Any kind of offense he can. Whether it's he's just kicking him, he's laying down with the boots, elbows, anything. He's got to work on the lower back. That's got to be the focus of his attack throughout this entire championship match. But he seems to be taking way too much time. He's more concerned at points what the fans are saying. He needs to stay focused on the champion. Roman is a former ACWA heavyweight champion, so he knows what the championship's all about. He knows what he has to do to win this matchup. He's got to stay on his opponent. Now Summers is trying to mount some offense, firing off a couple shots in the midsection that had no effect. And Roman puts a stop to that quick. Now once again, just staring around at the fans. You know, Roman should know he's in a championship match. He should know what it's all about and know to keep his focus on his opponent in the middle of the ring and not worry about what the fans are saying. As now he's going for, look at the arrogance on the pin. You know, he's calling his own count, giving the referee a little bit of a look, saying that now he's signaling that was a 3 count. The referee clearly showing him that it was only a 2, as Summers did get his shoulder off the mat. But you can see Roman is in firm control of this matchup early, as he just took one shot to the lower back, and it's already knocking Summers down to the mat. That puts him at a tremendous disadvantage with that injury to his lower back. And there we go again. Roman concerned about the fans, but he needs to stay on Summers in this matchup if he has any hopes of regaining the title. Just once again, he's just knocking Summers down into the corner. Now he's choking him out. Come on, referee, you gotta break the hold. And Roman's just showing like, oh, okay, I broke it before, I heard you. Yeah, just a lot of arrogance. You can just see the arrogance coming off of Roman. I mean, they have a history between these two guys. They've wrestled before for titles. CJ Summers, CJ's the one that took the title away. He regained his title back from Roman back at WrestleThon 2 during the first ever bull rope match. So there's a lot of history, a lot of build-up between these two men. They've wrestled, they've fought each other up and down the road throughout their career here in ACWA. As now CJ Summers rolling up Roman, but only getting a 2 count. Roman's obviously frustrated and angry, just knocking Summers down with a clothesline. But just as I was saying, these two, they know each other really well. So they may know each other's moves a little bit more than they think. As now Roman just going stomping into the midsection, just taking his time, taking his liberties with the champion. You know, he's acting right now, the way I see it, he's acting as if he's the champion right now, and he's just, you know, doing whatever he wants to do to a challenger. But he's got to realize he's the challenger in this matchup. He's not the champion. He's got to stay on CJ Summers if he's going to have any hopes of winning this match. As once again, he's resorting to the chokehold, the referee issuing the count, almost getting Roman disqualified. Roman's got to watch himself. That's twice he almost got himself disqualified in this matchup. And as you know, you can't win a belt on the disqualification. Roman now just firing off the right hands, knocking Summers down to the mat. Once again, going for the pin, but look at the arrogance. Once again, calling his own count. CJ Summers is rolling that left shoulder off the mat, stopping the count after 2. Roman obviously upset and frustrated. He still thinks the referee's count was slow. The referee just showing him that it was indeed a 2 count. And once again, look at that. Not only has a couple fingers on the chest, no body on body, no leverage, no hooking on the leg. He's not gonna pin the champion. He's not gonna win the match like that. As now he's in almost a modified camel clutch, like a reverse chokehold, or reverse chin lock, excuse me. As you can see, look at the positioning as he's wrenching back, pulling back on the neck. You see the angle. Look at the lower back. There's a lot of pressure and a lot of pain in that lower back. This could be it. You know, CJ Summers could give up here. The referee's asking him if he wants to give up. And as you can hear, CJ's not giving up. He's saying no, even though you see Roman just pulling back even harder with all of his strength and all of his might. But now Summers fighting back to his knees, getting on the leverage. But once again, Roman just lowering the boom on the lower back, knocking Summers back down to the mat. And he's going back to that hold. And you could just see him pulling back as hard as he can. This is bending your lower back in an unnatural position. That's got to be extremely painful on CJ Summers. But once again, he stops it getting to his knees. But once again, Roman just turning the tide, lowering the boom on the lower back. And now CJ Summers is almost just lying motionless in the ring. Now Roman just taking his time once again, and he's going back to the maneuver. He's keeping his focus on the lower back. And CJ Summers got to be in a lot of pain as now he's back once again. CJ Summers reverses it with a couple of knees to the lower region as he hooks him over, hooks the shoulders, only gets a 2 count. Roman once again with a clubbing forearm to the lower back, once again sending Summers down, crashing to the mat. Roman is in firm control of this matchup, but he's got to stay on his opponent. I mean, he's taken. You can see he's walking a little bit gingerly after that reversal by Summers, but he's got to stay on his man here. With the right hand, just sending Summers back into the corner. But you notice he's slowed the match down. This is the kind of pace that'll work effectively for Roman. CJ Summers with the reversal, but he reverses, sending Roman crashing into the referee. The referee's now out of the matchup. CJ Summers with a crescent kick, knocking Roman down to the mat. Both men are down. The referee is down. There's no... What's going on here, folks? The referee, he can't even issue a 10 count to count either man out. Everybody's laying down in the ring. What is going on here? As you can see, Roman just lying motionless, and CJ Summers beginning to fire up on the far side of the ring. Fans are not getting behind him. You can hear the fans clapping, trying to get CJ Summers, give him the energy that he feeds off of this crowd. Now hoisting Roman in the air, atomic drop. He's now picks up Roman, once again inverted atomic drop. Roman's got to be hurting, knocks him down with the clothesline, and another one. And he's going for another clothesline, but Roman reverses it with a hot shot across the top rope, sending Summers crashing back down to the mat. But the referee is out. If either man were to attempt a pinfall at this point, they'd be unsuccessful. But what is Roman doing? Now, Roman's on the outside of the ring. The referee's out of it. So this can't be good for CJ. This has got to spell trouble for the heavyweight champion CJ Summers. The referee finally seems to be moving here as you can see CJ is struggling to get himself back up to his feet on the side of the ring, just using the ropes to his advantage, trying to get himself back up to a vertical base. But now you see Roman bringing a chair into the ring. This is going to be a disqualification. If the referee sees this match is over. Now you can see Roman just taunting him. Now he's picking up the chair, looking to hit CJ. He's warming up like this is a baseball game, like this batting practice for him. He swings the chair, misses, hits himself in the head. CJ's hooking the leg. The referee's regained himself. And he wins the match. He hooks the leg. What a move. Oh my God. What a move by CJ Summers as Roman swings the chair, misses CJ Summers' head, hits himself in the head. CJ Summers takes advantage, hooking the leg, winning this matchup, and he retains the championship, and he is still the ACWA heavyweight champion. But folks, we're running out of time. That's it for this week. Don't forget to check us out on the web at www.acwawrestling.com. Once again, that's it for tonight's show. Good night, everyone.